Hello guys, this is the another video. I am briefly explaining about hypopituitarism in the endocrine series chapter. So what is hypopituitarism? Under secretion of pituitary hormones due to non-secreting pituitary adenoma and craniopharyngioma will leads to hypopituitarism. It is one of the cause due to hypopituitarism. And next one is Sheehan syndrome. It is an ischemic infarct of pituitary following postpartum bleeding, pregnancy-induced pituitary growth. That is increased susceptibility to hypoperfusion. Usually presents with failure to lactate, absent menstruation, and cold intolerance. Sheehan syndrome means ischemic infarct of pituitary following postpartum bleeding. Pregnancy-induced pituitary growth may occur. It leads to increased susceptibility to hypoperfusion, usually presents with failure to lactate, absent menstruation, and cold intolerance. First one is non-secreting pituitary adenoma, craniopharyngioma. Next one is Sheehan syndrome. It is an ischemic infarct of pituitary following postpartum bleeding, pregnancy-induced pituitary growth that leads to increased susceptibility to hypoperfusion, usually presents with failure to lactate, absent menstruation, cold intolerance. Next one is the empty sella syndrome. In this, atrophy or compression of pituitary occurs, which lies in the sella turcica, often idiopathic, and it is common in obese women associated with idiopathic intracranial hypertension. Next one is pituitary apoplexy. In this, sudden hemorrhage of pituitary gland occurs, often in presence of an existing pituitary adenoma, usually presents with sudden onset severe headache, visual impairment, that is bitemporal hemianopia occurs, diplopia due to cranial nerve 3 palsy, and features of hypopituitarism. So what I repeat, pituitary apoplexy means sudden hemorrhage of pituitary gland, often in presence of an existing pituitary adenoma, usually presents with sudden onset severe headache, visual impairment, that is bitemporal hemianopia, diplopia due to cranial nerve 3 palsy, and features of hypopituitarism. Next one is the brain injury. Next one is the radiation. So total I will explain under secretion of pituitary hormones leads to hypopituitarism. It is due to non-secreting pituitary adenoma, craniopharyngioma, and next is Sheehan syndrome. It is an ischemic infarct of pituitary following postpartum bleeding pregnancy, induced pituitary growth, and it leads to increased susceptibility to hypoperfusion, usually presents with failure to lactate, absent menstruation, cold intolerance. Next is the Septicella syndrome. It is atrophy or compression of pituitary which lies in the sella turcica, often idiopathic, common in obese women, associated with idiopathic intracranial hypertension. Next one is pituitary apoplexy. It is a sudden hemorrhage of pituitary gland. Sudden hemorrhage in the pituitary gland leads to pituitary apoplexy, often in the presence of an existing pituitary adenoma, usually presents with sudden onset severe headache, vision impairment, that is bitemporal hemianopia, and diplopia due to cranial nerve 3 palsy, and features of hypopituitarism. Next one is brain injury, and radiation also causes hypopituitarism. So what is the treatment? Hormone replacement therapy. In this, corticosteroids, thyroxine, sex steroids, and human growth hormone these are all hormone replacement therapy substitutes. So next one is the acromegaly. Acromegaly means excess growth hormone in adults. Excess growth hormone in adults leads to acromegaly, typically caused by pituitary adenoma. The findings are large tongue with deep furrows, deep voice, large hands and feet, and coarsening of facial features with aging occurs. Frontal bossing, diaphoresis, excessive sweating, that is, and impaired glucose intolerance, that is, insulin resistance, and hypertension occurs. I repeat, large tongue with deep furrows, deep voice, large hands and feet, coarsening of facial features with aging, frontal bossing, diaphoresis means excessive sweating, impaired glucose tolerance that is insulin resistance, and hypertension. Increased risk of colorectal polyps and cancers also occur are the findings in the acromegaly. So what is the diagnosis? Increased serum IGF-1 and failure to suppress serum growth hormone following oral glucose tolerance test. Pituitary mass seen on brain MRI. I repeat, what are the diagnosis? Diagnosis: increased serum IGF-1. Next, high failure to suppress serum growth hormone following oral glucose tolerance test. Pituitary mass seen on brain MRI. Increased growth hormone, so that is the diagnosis, and increased growth hormone in children causes gigantism, that is increased linear bone growth. And so what is the treatment of acromegaly? So what is the treatment? Pituitary adenoma resection. If not cured, treat with octreotide, that is somatostatin analog, or pegvisomant, that is growth hormone receptor antagonist, and a dopamine agonist, that is cabergoline. So I repeat, pituitary adenoma resection occurs. Resection is the treatment part for acromegaly. If not cured, treat with octreotide, that is somatostatin analog, and or pegvisomant, that is growth hormone antagonist, or dopamine agonist like cabergoline. And in this Laren syndrome, I will explain. Laren syndrome is the autosomal recessive and a defective growth hormone receptors occurs and leads to decreased linear growth. Ultimately, increased growth hormone and decreased IGF-1 occurs. Clinical features are short stature, that is dwarfism, small head circumference, characteristic faces with saddle nose and a prominent forehead, delayed skeletal maturation and small genitalia. Next one I will discuss about SIADH. Means SIADH is the syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone secretion. It is characterized by excessive water retention, euvolumic hyponatremia with continued urinary sodium excretion. SIADH means it is characterized by excessive water retention. Excessively water get retention in the body. And next one is euvolemic hyponatremia with continued urinary sodium excretion. Next, it is urine osmolality is greater than serum osmolality. SIADH causes include ectopic ADH, that is small cell lung cancer. Next is CNS disorders or head trauma. Next is pulmonary disease. Next is the drugs like cyclophosphamide. So body responds to the water retention with decreased aldosterone and increased ANP, that is adrenatriuretic peptide and brain natriuretic peptide. Body responds to water retention with decreased aldosterone and increased ANP and BNP. Ultimately, it leads to increased urinary sodium excretion. That is, next occurrence is the normalization of extracellular fluid volume. Ultimately, euvolemic hyponatremia occurs. Very low serum sodium levels can lead to cerebral edema, seizures occurs. Correct slowly to prevent osmotic demyelination syndrome. Correct slowly to prevent the osmotic demyelination syndrome, formerly known as central pontine myelinolysis. What is the treatment SIDH? Fluid restriction, that is first line. Salt tablets and IV hypertonic saline, diuretics, ADH antagonists like conivaptan, tolvaptan, and demiclocycline. Conivaptan, tolvaptan, and demiclocycline are the ADH antagonists. Repeat: fluid retention, fluid restriction, salt tablet, IV hypertonic saline, diuretics, and ADH antagonists like conviptan, dalbaptan, and dimethyl. Next one, in next video, I will discuss about our next topic is a very important topic, that is diabetes insipidus and diabetes mellitus. So very important for exams and NEET exam, complete exams. I will briefly discuss about diabetes insipidus and diabetes mellitus in the next video. Please watch it and share it for your colleagues. Thanks for watching this video. Like, share, and comment. As usually, subscribe for my channel. Thank you. Bye.